Alright, so this is my initial run on Gladiolus' Lost Chapters around the fire, and I'll be using the classical Ultimecia strategy here. The turn order and starting actions is quite important because of the tight orb count, so I start off always here by having Core use his Snowbreak to apply his buff on Ultimecia, and then I go straight to his LD followed by his Reaper's Gale. This allows you to bypass the defenses at the start and break both bosses, allowing their defenses to come down again. And then I end off his turn by using Fujin's LD call to apply Wind, Enchant and Imperil, and then his EX. So at this point the orb count is at 1, but that's why I set a Cloud Call on Kurasame. Any call ability that has delay, so for example Cloud or Ramza, is enough. All you really need is something to delay the bosses here so that you can increase the orb count again by 15. I end Kurasame's turn by using his LD so that his Hyoro stacks will increase to 5. And then on Ultimecia's turn, I hold off on using Burst for her because I actually want to bring in the Garland friend support before I burst with Ultimecia. So for that reason, I just spend her first turn using her LD to get her buff, and then I end her turn here. She actually has a second turn here, so I just decide to use an HP attack here. There's really no need to use her skills. But hindsight is 2020, so looking back here, I think it's actually better if I end her turn using Protean Swords. But anyway, it's a small thing. The idea is just to complete the setup so that I can go into burst mode with Ultimecia. So on Core's turn here, I just reapply his buff on Ultimecia so that she has a full 6 turn buff from Core. And then I come back to Kurasame's turn here where I bring in the Garland friend support so that I can activate his BT aura before going into Ultimecia's burst mode. And that's it, so we are here to Ultimecia's burst. I hang on to Jack's Silver Call because I thought that I would be needing it later in the fight, but again, on hindsight, I think it's okay to just immediately use Jack's Call here before you burst, just to get an extra bit of damage in. But anyway, once you reach to Ultimecia's burst successfully, the fight is essentially over. Because with Ultimecia's burst, you can then delete all the enemy's turns and proceed to just burn them down for the rest of the fight. During Ultimecia's burst, I try to maximize damage by using as many Health Judgment as I can, and the way that I achieve this is to use 1 Health Judgment at the start, followed by her LD, which will replenish her Health Judgment, and then I go into EX, which allows me to use 2 Health Judgment for free. So there's actually no need to use Protean Swords during her BT phase. So at the end of her BT aura, because her overhead is still active, she gets 2 free turns. So this is where I just spam Hell's Judgment, which with her BT effect will delete 3 of the enemy's turns. And that combined with the delay from the Garland friend support is enough to ensure the enemies never get a turn. Now at 69%, the bosses will re-battery themselves and will gain that insane defense again. And that's where actually Core comes in. At this point, after using Ultimecia's burst, Core actually has 10 stacks of his overhead, and I actually was waiting for Core to get a turn so that I can use his Reaper's Gale to break both bosses. However, I actually managed to break the bosses before Core got his turn, largely due to the gravity effect from Ultimecia's Hell's Judgment. So at this point here, I'm actually trying to bring them to 49% as fast as possible while Garland friend support is still up, because at 49% the orb will reappear, and the only way to increase the orb count is to have the Garland friend support delay both bosses with his LD while he's still enchanted by the Wind enchant from Core. Alright, so I'm at 49% and the orb reappears with an orb count of 8, which is quite low. But that's where Garland friend support comes in. I actually think it's okay to just have one turn from Garland here, just to increase the orb count to 15 again. But here I actually still have 2 turns from Garland, which is very comfortable. If at this point you only have one Garland friend support turn left, what you can do is use his final turn to LD to delay and increase the orb count, and then wait until the orb count is low before popping Brother's Summon to buy you some extra time to finish off the bosses. Okay, at 39% they will battery themselves and gain the defensive boost all over again. But that's where Core comes in, so the timing for me here is quite nice. I'm at Core's turn again, so I just use his LD, which will give me 10 stacks and access to Reaper's Gale, and his Reaper's Gale will be able to break both bosses here. At this point, Fujin's LD call has expired on Core, so I take the opportunity to reapply his AA and then Fujin's Silver Call to give the party win enchant all over again, before ending his turn by rebuffing Ultimecia here. Alright, so Garland has done his part and he's left the field, so Kurasame jumps back in. And the timing here is actually quite nice because I'm about to run out of Fujin's call, so I will lose out the win enchant. But since Kurasame jumps back into the party, he gives the party ice enchant. So even if I run out of Fujin's call here, I will still have the ice enchant and Imperil up from Kurasame, which still will allow my party to hit for weakness damage. So at this point, the bosses are low enough that you can just burn them down, and it is a pretty comfortable win because their turn order is so far away that you have plenty of room to finish them off. And even without a way to increase the orb count, you can very comfortably finish the fight here before the orb expires. Alright, that's it. Hope the video has been helpful. As always, if you enjoyed the content, do leave a like, comment or subscribe. It really helps a lot. Till then, I'll see you guys in the next Ultimecia fight. Bye bye.